And we are live on KEXP at home. My name is Larry Mizell Jr., afternoon show host. So glad to be presenting Liv. How you doing, Liv?
I'm great. How are you, Larry?
Fantastic. I'm really happy to be talking to you. I was playing the hell out of Couldn't Wait to Tell You since it's dropped.
No, I've for sure been seeing the love, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Right on, right on. I just really appreciated the vibe. Sir Lady Make 'Em Fall. I mean, I would just be running that over and over and over. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm super glad.
Right on. So you're based in LA?
I am based in LA now.
Okay. And I know you're from Dallas. I'm just curious how, your environment shapes your sound.
Ooh, I would say being in like smaller cities or being in places where I don't feel so forced to do what I do, I feel like it helps me to just kind of be free, feel freer to be myself, because like it feels like I only have to focus on myself. Whereas in being here, like I feel like I'm constantly accidentally picking up on things or just like too worried about like the pressures. It's weird, but I don't know. We'll see how Los Angeles shapes the next thing for sure. I'm excited.
I feel that. When I listen to your music, I definitely get a sense of ease and intimacy and like self-knowledge. Like you're not, trying to do this or that. It
exactly.
all just comes from the core, Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, let's get into the fantastic live session you recorded.
Amazing.
All right. We're live on KEXP at home with Liv.
I be learning from my mistakes. 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 To me 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. Hello, I'm Liv. This is my band. This is V.C.R. and Mason. And TaRon, Lockett, Nick Semrad on keys, and Aaron on guitar. This is we.
I like that. That was great. I actually really like that. And we're live on KEXP at home with Liv. What a fantastic session. I'm loving the sound. Thank you for recording that and laying that down.
No problem at all. Very extremely fun for me and for them. For all of us.
Right. I'm sure. And, you know, I'm sure you're probably not getting to get that live feeling a lot right now because of the pandemic, of course. I know you got to be missing that.
It's for sure something that's lacking in life right now. It's pretty different not being able to like feel how something makes people feel in person. Like I've gotten a lot of verbal responses and things, but like being able to like feel a mass of people feel where you're coming from is like always, that can't be topped at all. Right.
Do you have anything that's kind of a workaround for that during this time? Are you interacting with fans or listeners in any other way that has been enriching during this time?
I think the most I've done is probably get on Instagram Live and invite a lot of people to scream with me for like 2 seconds. Yeah, that's probably the most engagement I've had though. I don't know, I've been pretty reclusive.
I can dig it. This is a good time, I think, you know, it's a good time that we're afforded to kind of go inward and, you know, find out what we're doing outside of the framework of, you know, the rush, the capitalist thing that's always going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the rent still got to get paid, of course, but
yeah, it's interesting.
right.
For sure that way.
I'm curious what your process is from, you know, your titling of your songs, your lyrics, your melodies, the way you stack your harmonies and everything. It feels so poetic.
Ah, thank you. For my titling, I think it depends on the project. This project, it was actually harder for me to title it than it was for me to make it. So I just ended up naming it what it is now because it was like, all right, well, I guess like I was so excited to put it out. I was just like, well, couldn't wait to tell you. And then the names are actually like, it's kind of like a crossword puzzle. Like you finish the sentence or you finish the title of the album with the sentence from the name, with the title of the songs. So like, couldn't wait to tell you about my big band batter. Couldn't wait to tell you
right.
how it made me feel, etc. So I just thought of that as like a big puzzle piece. I feel like I kind of went about the whole album kind of like that though, because I didn't really have any prior intentions for it. So it was just kind of like me puzzling together past, present, future things kind of. So it was, I don't know, that was at least my mental process. My physical process for that, I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm not gonna say that. I feel like I'm so present in my recording moments that it's kind of like I black out. I don't really know or how I did it, but I'm just like, yeah, I get it. But yeah, I don't want to get into too many details about how I do it. But
I feel that totally.
But it is like, it's just like a moment. It's like, that's not me. Sometimes that's how I feel. Because it's like, I don't know. It's a here and there thing for sure.
I feel that. And, you know, even the title of that project, Couldn't Wait to Tell You, it's like, that's an intimate thing. I couldn't wait to tell you. You're a friend of mine, so I'm telling you something. And I couldn't wait. I'm excited to share this with you. And, you know, it seems like the intention with a lot of your music is like, okay, I'm going to let you in now. You know what I mean? It's a discrete moment where you get to share this moment of me, you know, but, you know, don't make any assumptions or anything. You know? Yeah.
Because that's why people for sure get caught up. Sure. I love seeing, my favorite part about dropping any music is just seeing the description or like what people actually think it's about. And that's my favorite part about art in general, because it's like you don't really, like you could tell a person like the general statement of what the piece is about, but it's not necessarily always going to legitimately be about that. Or like people are always going to put their own story to it. So like I really appreciate that about all the art for sure. Especially
that's the thing, right? You know, when you hear somebody talk about somebody else, good or bad, a lot of times it's more informative about that person that's speaking. You know, so I know that's a big part of the media landscape when they're discussing your record.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of redundant.
Yeah, I'm sure.
With a lot of people, for sure. But
I get such a warm kind of feeling from so much of your music. I mean, it's just, it reminds me of like 60s jazz. I'm really curious about some of your biggest influences, some of the what you came up on.
Well, my parents were a bit older when I was coming up, so they come up on a lot of like, I don't know, they weren't like extremely conservative, but they were just like churchy. Feeling my dad was a preacher's kid, also a musician. My mom was like just a very classy Southern lady. So lots of gospel. My dad was in the Canton Spirituals at one point. You know what I'm saying? Just like hella gospel, hella jazz, of course. Lots of R&B. My dad's from LA, and he did like a lot of writing for people. I forget what label he used to work with, but I gotta keep that on file up here. But yeah, so lots of influences from there. Lots of Motown influences. Lots of hip-hop influences, especially. I think when I was coming up, probably the first rap album that I was just like, yo, was Aquemini.
Oh, yeah.
That and probably a lot of... Who else? Who was I listening to? I think I really, really loved... Oh, what's her name? Missy Elliott. I really, really loved Missy Elliott back then. And NERD, but I don't think those reflect right now. But so I'm probably gonna say D'Angelo. Lots of D'Angelo, of course.
I definitely hear that.
And Georgia and Mojo, I cannot stop.
Georgia's the other one I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, like that for sure. There was whenever I heard, I forgot what the album was called. Early. Yeah. That was the first album I have ever heard of Georgia's, and like that was the first time because I was probably like 12 or 11 or some young age when I first heard that, and it was like weird to me, especially being where I'm from, to know that like there was a person out there that kind of felt how I felt or was like speaking about things that I was aware of and like that I was interested in as well. And it was just like, this already exists, like what? It was just crazy. Yeah, so that for sure had a lot of influence on me because it was just like, wow, like I felt understood in that moment.
That's a beautiful thing when you connect, you see an artist and you feel seen, you know what I mean? You're
absolutely.
Like, oh wow.
Because it's like, what?
Walking that.
And especially at that time, because like at that time I was a really extremely depressed kid. Like I was really like going through it. And so I really felt alone. So like that shit was life changing to like hear something like that. And it's like everything around me was influenced by Christianity, but it was just like that was a moment that I felt like I had touched my spirituality, and somebody else was like, I don't know, kind of like showed me that, hey, this is out here. But it's like, it doesn't have to be like white Jesus. I don't know. But yeah, that was great. Honestly, greatest album ever.
Right on. There's a really ill Georgia session that we did. I know you know my sister Stas. She hosted.
I love her.
Yeah. Really great session Stas did with Georgia and Dudley here in the live room that one day I hope to see you in.
Yes, I hope to get there too, because I have seen a lot of great performances at KEXP. They have been great
Right on.
for sure.
Right on.
And I
had to holler at my brother Raj because you guys did that record.
Heck
Dreams.
yeah, I love
That was
Raj.
how I first got hip to you, was via Raj.
That's amazing. I love Raj. He's literally the kindest person.
Salt of the earth. Yeah.
Like super, super kind. That album was great. I do have a very, very, very fragile and special place for that album in my heart.
Right on.
Very, very.
I'm curious if you can tell me about Jade Fox.
Wow, I've never gotten that question before. That's so funny. What you want to know? I don't know.
Well, I bring that up because, Jade Fox is a rap alias of yours, if I'm characterizing that correctly. But you have you have a variety of voices, not just the way you stack your actual voices, but like you have your like falsetto voice, you have a lower voice. You're so dynamic with it. I'm just wondering how you kind of discovered these different voices within yourself.
So I'm kind of crazy. Honestly, I feel like I probably have a little bit of a personality disorder. Not really though.
Yeah.
Like not like
Creatively.
outwardly where it's like but just more of like, I feel like when I'm alone or something, like it's kind of like having conversations with yourself and just like, okay, well, if I was talking, like who would I want to like what part of me would I want to talk to, and what would they sound like in a response that would make me kind of like get it? I don't know, but I feel like as a kid I would for sure, like my grandma used to ask me like, are you talking to yourself? And I'd be like, yeah. And she's like, well, as long as you're not responding back. And I would just be like, oh, I'm responding back. But it would be stuff like that, just like little voices or big voices, or just trying to like see how far I can go, or like how different I can make it sound. Because I also like, I love getting on the phone and acting like another person, or like just stuff like that, just like acting or just weird stuff. So I feel like that was really just me just trying to see like, I don't know, can I trick myself? Can I fool myself?
Yeah.
In a sense, almost. But yeah, telling a story, creating a story. But Jade Fox is like my it's kind of like that weird, like that scary character, just like my what's it called? The Jekyll to my Hyde.
Okay, right.
Kinda. So just like yeah, she's just very careless, but also careful. I don't know. Kind of like, well, yeah, how I am, but just a little less soft. A lot less soft. She's like, Jade Fox is who I aspire to be, honestly. But I don't think I can be like that naturally. Like,
I feel that.
yeah, that's how Jade.
Some of these voices, make us feel powerful, and some of them, help us achieve things. Like when you were talking about the different voices, kind of reminded me of the phenomenon of code switching.
Yeah,
it's not something everybody understands, but Black people have to do that.
Code switching, that's code switching, but not code switching to make somebody comfortable.
Right, right.
In that sense, I feel that though. Yeah.
Right. Code switching to tell your story most effectively.
And I feel like for Jade, it's not even really the voice, but it's just the shit that she be saying. It's like, what? I don't know. I've said a lot of like weird shit that I wouldn't say in real life. But it was like, it made sense for the moment. But like, I don't know. If I was like that in real life, I probably wouldn't want to be my friend. But that's okay, because I don't think Jade Fox wants friends. I don't think she needs friends.
Right. The friend you only see every, few months for a second.
Barely that.
Yeah, right.
The random person you see in all black and then you never see them again.
The black on black Air Forces.
Yeah, Grim Reaper for
type
sure.
person. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, let's get into the rest of this session that you recorded. Okay.
Sounds great.
Live on KEXP at home with Liv.
Man, that was really it. That sounds crazy. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. You say fantastic. You say, you know, this is for, hey yo, this is for y'all to dance to a flow. This is fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
And we are live on KEXP at home with Liv. We are living at home right now.
Living at home.
Living at home.
Yes.
I just wanted to rap about again, I love that session. I loved everybody, how everybody's bringing your on record aesthetic to life.
Yeah.
So well. That's got to be a challenge to do with live musicians.
It was not easy. That is
Sure.
hard. Like, honestly, and I was telling them beforehand, I was like, even though it sounds so simple, it's really the hardest shit ever. Like, not ever, because it's not like a lot of like transitions and etc., but just more of like in terms of musicality. Like, the first thing that they told me before we rehearsed was like, yeah, did you know all these songs are not in a real key? And I was like, yes. Yes, actually. So that's always fun for me. I think another aspect for it that people don't really realize is like how hard for me it is to sing these songs. Because like, I don't know, what I do is not really simple. Like, it sounds simple, but like,
Right.
even me trying to rehearse or trying to sing this by myself is probably the hardest task. Because it's not like, it's always going to be different, of course, but just more of like, it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of, it's like reading a fictional book. And then when you are trying to incorporate that into real life, you realize that there's some limitations. Kind of like that. So, yeah. So I feel like they did such an excellent job. We only had one rehearsal.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. So
Y'all sound like a machine, you know?
amazing.
In the best
Really,
way.
really, really world class for musicians, truly. But yeah, I do appreciate them for all
That's
their
rare when you have a
wonderfulness.
very, very particular style that isn't like a normalized studio type style. To get musicians that can match that, that's a huge challenge. So kudos to y'all.
And I got the right ones. Yeah, shout out to my brother. That's my actual like out the same vagina brother on drums. And then yeah, and friends and a lot of Dallas friends. V is from Dallas. The Mason on bass is also from Dallas. I don't think Nick is from Dallas. I think everybody else is like from over here in New York or something. But
Okay. Do you have a bit of a Dallas community in LA?
it's very small, very, very small. It's really just me and my brother. I do know V. I know a couple of people from Dolphin are here. But it's extremely, extremely small. Which is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can you have different pods in LA. That's how it works.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't really feel like LA is a place where you just can always click up. It doesn't really work like that.
There's a million different LAs, I think that's lost on people. They think it's
Bars.
the beach and In-N-Out and Hollywood, and it's like, you haven't been to LA.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been to 1/305th of it or something,
You want to go to Bossa Nova?
Right, exactly.
Nah, seriously.
I would think that the process of presenting what you do on record live, and you've been touring, you've done your thing on stage plenty. Does that inform how you go back in and record new music? Like, I definitely know
like
artists
me
have
doing it live.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because when you go back in, I've known artists new artists, they've started out writing stuff. They get on stage and they're like, this is really hard to present in this way. And then they get back in the studio and it has more to do with what they're physically comfortable doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So couldn't wait to tell you specifically because that's really the only album I toured. Funny enough, people didn't know what it was though when that happened. So like I dropped it after I toured it.
Okay.
On some like, you know what I'm saying, on some like funkadelic shit. But I feel like it did make me think about what I could do after I toured it for sure. Like before we dropped it, I was like, oh, should I do this and that? But I feel like catching the essence of how it was like necessary. But it did help me to kind of think further, not really for this project, but for like later on, like how would I want to, you know, have it be done. So yeah, I would say that. But I think just how that came about for me was like a little backwards and a little different.
Right on.
So
I can dig it. And you went on tour with Earl for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I loved hearing you on the Mtume joint.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that was fire.
It's a good song. Shouts out.
At the end of your session, you got a couple like covers. Well, you got a cover and you kind of like, you got a bit of a cover. You want to tell me about those and how your feelings about those songs.
Well, the Lil Beaver cover, I love Lil Beaver.
Oh, yeah.
Lil Beaver, like, I don't know. It's that churchy ass, funky ass, like, I don't know. It's that, yeah, he's up there with like my Bootsy Collins box, like in there, like in that box with the James Brown and everybody, like, yeah, for sure. So I don't know, I just really wanted to do that song, but I wanted to do it how I like to do it. But yeah, Party Life, I love that song a lot. That's really the only thing that was behind that song. But that Fantastic moment was just literally us in the middle of about to like re-record that session one more time. Mm-hmm. We just be like messing around and that was just like a clip from that. But yeah, that was not intentional. We also did Umi Says. I was like, I wonder if they got that, but I don't think they got that. But it was
we need
really
to see that sometime.
Yeah, we killed that. they went in on that. But
okay.
Yeah, so no real intention behind Fantastic, but
I just loved seeing your enthusiasm as a fellow hip hop head, you know, sliding into just one of the best songs ever. Just made me happy.
Because I was like, yes, that shit made me feel at home for sure. Like that made me feel at home. Because like, I don't know, just how that felt made me feel like I was at a jam session back home. And I was like, ah, but yeah.
Right on. Thank you for sharing your world and your process and your art with us. Me. Absolutely. And again, love to see you in this live room I'm sitting in all alone at some point in the future once we're past all this. Yeah. One day we'll get there.
Seriously, yeah.
Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to everything that's next. Anything you want to plug or
Thank you. I'm about to drop a video.
Okay.
Yeah, look out for that. That's pretty much it.
And we will. Thank you so much, Liv.
Thank you, Larry.
Right on. This is live on KEXP at home. This has been Liv. My name is Larry Mizell. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.